Okay, hello Mabel Canton. I'm Athletic Director Lonnie Morgan, and we're doing our eligibility meetings this year virtually because of COVID-19 and lots of things that we did normally in the past. We've had to change a little bit, and hopefully next year we'll go back to the way we've done things in recent years and stuff. So those of you that were at Back to School Night picked up a bunch of forms and our Mabel Canton Athletic or extracurricular handbook. If you didn't go to Mabel Canton Back to School Night, all of these forms can be picked up in the office, and so certainly you're going to need those before you're able to play any of our extracurricular activities here at Mabel Canton this year. So the first thing I want to go over is our handbook, and again, this is for not only athletics, but it's for band and choir, all the fine arts, all the extracurricular activities that we do offer at Mabel Canton, and everything is very similar to in the past. Last year we came up with two changes that we put in them, and I just want to review them real quick for you. If a student is receiving an F at midterms or at the end of a quarter, they are still out 1 week or one contest, which is a minimum. However, at the end of the week, they are still ineligible if the original grade is up passing, but they're failing another class. So if, for instance, they're failing a math class, and at the end of the week that they set out, they're passing that math class, but during that week, one of their other grades dropped below passing, they would still have to be out for a week then. So we want to make sure that all of their grades are passing if at one time they were ineligible because of an F. And then a second thing that we talked about, or that we added to the handbook last year, was if the student is academically ineligible and their sports team that they're part of leaves school early to go to a sporting event, whether it's a baseball, softball game, or a volleyball game, if they're academically ineligible, they're not allowed to leave early from school. They have to complete the entire school day, and so if they're academically ineligible, they're not allowed to leave early. So one change that we did add is on the second to the last page, and it's listed under Mabel Canton High School Academic Eligibility Rules, and I'll just read it to you. It has to do with attendance, and so what we added to this handbook was, in order to be eligible to participate in an extracurricular activity, practice, game, etc., students must be in attendance at school during 5th, 6th, and 7th hour. So we just kind of cleaned up some of the half-day stuff that was kind of a little bit confusing, and so if a student leaves school early and goes home sick, they're not able to come back for practice or a game that day. The exceptions, of course, are if they leave for a school-sponsored field trip, medical appointments, if they have a court appointment, or emergencies such as a funeral or doctor's appointments, like I said. So anyway, so that's one item that got added to the handbook this year. The page right before that kind of details what the punishments would be if they would break a Minnesota State High School League rule. And we talk about a first violation, a second violation, a third, and subsequent violation. And so it's important to kind of know these rules as well, and what the punishments are if a rule is broken. The first violation is 2 weeks or 2 contests, whichever is longest, whichever is greater. And so, for example, if a violation occurs in the summer, in a normal year, they would miss 2 football games, or they would miss 2 volleyball games. Obviously, when football only plays 8 games in a normal year, if you miss 2 of the 8 games, you miss 25% of your season, and so it's a little bit stricter of a punishment if you are a football player. Volleyball, you would miss 2 games, and that would be the same, for every other sport that they're out. Now, if they get the violation in the middle of a season, they could miss 2 or 3 football games depending on when the games actually fall on the calendar, and then they could also miss multiple volleyball games, especially if there's a weekend tournament that is played while they're ineligible. And then the same would be true if they play a winter or a spring sport. The Minnesota State High School League packet was this larger packet that we picked up, and all that we need signed and returned is the back page. And the back page just says that you're going to abide by the Minnesota State High School League rules, and that just needs to be turned back into the office or to me. There was a single sheet that also needs to be signed, and this just says that you read the Mabel Canton Handbook for extracurricular activities, and you are going to abide by those rules as well. So 2 sheets of paper left to be turned back in. if you had a physical in the summer or fall of 2017, you're up for another physical. And so most of the time with the athletes at Mabel Canton, it's 6th grade, 9th grade, and then 12th grade, you need a physical. And the physical sheets are right here. And again, we'll pick these up. You can pick these up at the office, but those athletes will need a physical before they're able to start practice. And football and volleyball will be starting practice September 14th. And so those physicals need to be taken care of before then. Just a couple other things. Athletic fees, we're not going to accept any athletic fees until the season actually starts this year. So a number of you like to pay for your fees, whether it's lunch and stuff at the beginning of the school year right now, but we're going to hold off on the athletic fees until we make sure that there is a season for the sports. Grades 6 through 8 pay $35 a sport, and grades 9 through 12 pay $50 a sport. And there's a $160 family max. So once you paid $160 for your sports, you pay no more. There are season passes if you are going to be in attendance to a lot of games at Mabel Canton this year. Students and senior citizens have a $35 fee for their season pass, and adults pay $55. And again, there's a $160 family max for the season passes for the families. So if you feel that you're going to be in attendance to a lot of games, a season pass sometimes is the way to go. 6 years ago, the PALs and the athletic boosters combined and have done some amazing things at our school for our students, for all of our activities that our students are involved in. If you'd like to join their organization, please contact Karen Larson at City Hall, and she'd be able to give you some more information. And I know they have some great, strong members in their organization, but they can always use more. Jessica Morkin will again be our athletic trainer. She'll be coming to our school every single day, typically about 11, somewhere between 11 and 1 o'clock each day. So it's a free service provided to our athletes here at Mabel Canton. So if you're interested in seeing her, you just need to sign up in the office the morning before she arrives, and then she'll get you out of class or out of study hall or whatever, and kind of give you her recommendations on what your injuries are. There'll be a shuttle bus again after school when practices are done here. There'll be a bus or a van that brings kids back to the Canton area. And again, that needs to be signed up. You need to sign up at the office, again, the morning of that you're going to be riding it. Two last things. Please check the school website for cancellations and or questions instead of flooding the school with a bunch of phone calls. In the fall, there's usually not a lot of questionable weather-related activities, but once basketball season starts and the snow and ice and freezing rain and stuff happens, a lot of times, people are calling the school and trying to figure out, are the games still on? Are the games still on? Well, as soon as the games are canceled, we're going to put something on the school website. That's going to be the first thing we do. So if you call the school, you're not going to find out any information any sooner, and you're going to tie up all the school phone lines. So just check the school website if there are cancellations or questions. And then the final thing, our concussion tests that we always provide at the school after our eligibility meetings are now going to be, you're going to be able to do this at home. And so you'll be receiving a link via email that will allow you to register and take the test remotely at home. The concussion tests are only recommended, they're not mandatory. Our trainer Jess would love our 7th, 9th, and 11th graders to take the concussion test. It's free to the athletes that do this. The school pays for them. And again, it's recommended, but it's not mandatory. If you did take one last year, but you want to take one again, you certainly can do that as well. So as always, get a hold of me at the school if you have any questions, 507-493-5422, or you can certainly email me at lmorken, M-O-R-K-E-N, at mabelcanton.org if you have any questions. So we look forward to having a great 2020-2021 school year. Thank you.